Florian Wirtz to Liverpool is a news story that's gained massive amounts of attention over the past 48 hours. A multitude of different sources, news outlets, journalists and more are all reporting that the Reds are very much in the race for the Bayer Leverkeusen attacking midfielder who's picked up 16 goals and 13 assists this season and was an integral part of Xabi Alonso's Bundesliga title-winning campaign 1 year ago. And while this may just seem like another insane transfer link being fabricated for the sake of online clickbait, in actuality, on paper, this transfer makes a lot of sense. And yes, I know he's more than likely to go to Bayern Munich, the side who pillaged the Bundesliga like Genghis Khan, but with Leverkusen, but that doesn't mean we can't look into why this German international would be an ideal fit in Liverpool's attacking system. And today we're going beyond the cop and taking a look at Florian Wirtz. So a bit of backstory. Florian Wirtz has been regarded in recent years as one of the most sought after young talents in European football after he broke into the Bayer Leverkusen scene back in 2020 when he made his professional debut on the 18th of May of that year, becoming the youngest player to feature in the league for Leverkusen since Kai Havertz made his debut at the age of just 17 years and 15 days old. The young lad was predominantly used as a right winger during these early matches due to his speed and athleticism on the flanks for the youth setup, and on the 6th of June he recorded his first Bundesliga goal, which came ironically against Bayern Munich, which made him at the time the youngest goal scorer in Bundesliga history at the age of 17 years and 24 days old, just 19 days after he made his debut. Fast forward a few months and then manager Peter Bosz, the now PSV Eindhoven manager, made the decision to move Florian into the centre of the pitch as an attacking midfielder, believing that he possessed the vision and attacking talent to make him a danger in the centre of the pitch, and he was proven right, with the lad recording 5 goals and 6 assists in the Bundesliga alone during his first full season with the senior side. He was also recording 1.86 key passes per 90, which was in the top 8% for Bundesliga attacking midfielders, and he was attempting more take-ons than 96% of the rest of the Bundesliga, showing that he was not only an intelligent player, but he was a brave one as well. He also became the first Bundesliga player in history at the time to reach 5 goals in the division before turning 18, and soon afterwards became the first player under 19 years of age to score more than 10 Bundesliga goals when he netted in a 3-1 win over RB Leipzig on the 18th of November 2021. Sadly, after this, he then suffered a horrific injury when he tore his ACL on the 13th of March 2022, keeping him out of action for over 10 months. But actually, this may have been a blessing somewhat. You see, while a lot of players of Wirtz's age rely heavily on their speed and physicality to assert themselves onto the footballing scene, as seen by Michael Owen in the past, the injury to the now German international meant that he had to adjust his game slightly, and rather than pushing high up the pitch like the Leverkusen faithful were used to seeing, he operated in a deeper role following the appointment of Xabi Alonso, who used him as an attacking midfielder, yes, but almost like a false 9 at points, which we'll get into shortly. He picked up 22 goal involvements in Leverkusen's title-winning campaign and was voted the club's player of the season. So now we reach 2025, a year which has seen Liverpool win the Premier League title in devastating fashion, securing a record equaling 20th top division title, and meaning that we go into the summer window with the idea being to strengthen a squad which is still top quality, but with a few glaring weak points that need addressing. Left back is somewhere the club needs to look at improving, with the likes of Kerkez and Hato being linked. Trent's departure means a right back is needed, hence the soon to be confirmed addition of Jeremy Frimpong. But the most obvious area where improvement is needed by a mile is striker, with the only 2 real options Liverpool have through the middle being Darwin Núñez and Diogo Jota, one who can't finish and one whose legs are finished. Núñez has shown that he cannot operate under Arne Slot's style of football, and Diogo Jota, while capable of performing what is needed mentally, lacks the physical ability nowadays to meet the demands put on him by the now Liverpool legend. Throughout the season, Jota's recorded just 6 goals and 4 assists in the Premier League, while Núñez has recorded just 5 goals and 3 assists, neither of which are awful per se, but this means a lot of the goal scoring reliance has fallen onto the shoulders of Mo Salah and Cody Gakpo, with Luis Diaz having to play as the number 9 at times this season to make up for the lack of consistency through the middle of the pitch for Liverpool's attack. This is seen as linked to the likes of Alexander Isak, Benjamin Sesko and Hugo Ekitike, all of whom are good quality / top quality strikers, but all have reasons for why they would not fit the system. Isak, while at the top level of Premier League football, would cost us potentially upwards of £150 million, and is more and more likely likely to end up staying at Newcastle, who are in a position where they don't have to sell him and are also likely to be in the Champions League next season. Hugo Ekitike is showing real talent, but it's still a bit of a long-term project, and at the moment, Liverpool can't be waiting too long for their most expensive asset to come good like we have been with Nunez, because when it gets to 2 or 3 years down the line and the player still hasn't improved potentially, you end up in this kind of situation. And Benjamin Sesko, while a good finisher, doesn't exactly blow me away both on the pitch and through the stats. So of those three, Isak would be the perfect choice, but the lad's going to cost us an arm and a leg just to get him out the door. And while he boasts the talent and ability to play in Slot's system, recording 2.79 progressive carries and 2.82 progressive passes per 90, while also picking up 23 goals and 6 assists in the Premier League alone, it's not worth us spending our entire budget on the one lad. With Florian Wirtz, the player is eager for a move away, so there is negotiation to be had with Leverkeusen. He would more than likely still cost upwards of £100 million, but you will end up paying that for any top-level attacker nowadays. And while Isak is recording 2.8 goals higher than his XG, which is incredible, it's not worth breaking the bank over. Slot has shown this season how he wants a striker to play, with Nunez and Jota often averaging a deeper average position on the pitch than either of the wide players, and most of the time the position's deeper than Dominic Szoboszlai and sometimes even Alexis McAllister. In this point to Slot wanting a central player to operate as a false 9, someone who can receive the ball deep and create for other attackers more than someone who operates as an out-and-out goal scorer. Throughout the season, Nunez has been operating deep, and this does not suit his style of players. On-the-ball work is arguably his weakest skill set, often running into danger or picking out a poor pass, but he's still recording 0.5 switches per 90, which is in the top 6% of forwards in the Premier League, showing that when he picks up the ball deep with his admittedly solid defensive work, the main idea is not to try and run into space and challenge opponents' defenses, but to get the ball out to the likes of Mo Salah, who's the real threat on goal. Jota's in the same boat, ranking in the top 29% of strikers for switches per 90 minutes and recording 2.7 shot creating actions and 2.24 passes into the final third per 90, meaning that he is not being relied upon to be the goal scorer of the movement, but more so the creator, in a similar vein to what we saw with Roberto Firmino. Maybe Slot does want a striker who can score copious amounts of goals, and the main reason he made these adjustments was because Nunez and Jota have been poor form this season, or maybe it's because he likes the versatility of false 9 offers his side going forward. So with this in mind, we're going to turn our attention to Wirtz, someone who is tailor-made for the false 9 role at Liverpool. And honestly, the idea of taking the main goal scoring responsibility away from Salah is ludicrous to me. This season, he's produced these numbers despite having someone through the middle who could not finish on a consistent basis. So just imagine how great he could become with someone like Wirtz operating as not only someone who can score goals, with him picking up 16 this season, but also someone who will be actively looking to create chances for the Egyptian king and drawing opponents away from him in the process. Towards the end of the season, Salah has been marked out of matches, often finding himself against 2 defenders at a time, something which I think we're signing Jeremy Frimpong to prevent, just FYI. But with Wirtz in the middle, defenses are going to be spread even thinner, especially if he's operating in the deep role of false 9. Per 90 minutes, Wirtz is recording 4.61 progressive passes and 2.19 progressive carries per 90 minutes, which are both in the top 10% of Bundesliga midfielders. Not only that, but of the 1.25 shots he's taking per 90, 0.57 of them are on target, giving him a success rate of 45.2%, which is also in the top 13% for Bundesliga midfielders. Now, to put that one into perspective, Dominic Szoboszlai is recording 2.42 shots per 90 with a success rate of just 32.8. Harvey Elliott's recording 3.59 per 90, but has a success rate of just 23.8%. And Alexis McAllister, who scored some wonderful goals this season, is picking up just 1.32 shots per 90 with a success rate of just 34.2, showing that Wirtz has a clinical edge when it comes to his shooting talent. And with Arne Slot saying himself that he'd rather people take less chances on the pitch, this is a valuable commodity to have in the Dutchman's calculated team setup. Now, what about his creative actions? So for this entry, I'm going to be comparing Florian Wirtz this season to Roberto Firmino of 2019-20, aka Liverpool's title-winning campaign, because this felt like the first season where we saw false 9 Firmino in full effect, taking a step back from goal-scoring responsibilities as his main role and focusing more on teamwork and creation. So in 2019-20, Firmino was recording 3.43 shot creating actions per 90, just 0.07 higher than Wirtz this season. He was also producing 2.71 live ball passes, which is moving passes that lead to a shot attempt, which is just 0.04 higher than Wirtz. They both produced 0.36 successful take-ons, which lead to a shot attempt a match, and 0.09 defensive actions, leading to a goal attempt. Not only that, but per 90 minutes, Wirtz is producing more tackles, tackles won, tackles in the defensive and midfield thirds, blocks, passes blocked, and tackles and interceptions per 90, in a position which is averaging the same area on the pitch that Firmino did back in that season. Per 90 as well, Wirtz is touching the ball more, is performing more successful take-ons with a higher success rate, and can boast a higher carrying distance, passes receives, and is only 0.21% behind Firmino for carries into the final third, showing that he's capable of receiving the ball deep and running into space with it to try and create for other players, which is also evidenced by the fact that he's creating 1.86 key passes per 90, while Firmino is only producing 1.57. And if you need further evidence that he'd thrive at getting the ball into the feet of attacking players, per 90, Firmino was producing 2.23 passes into the final third, while Wirtz is producing 3.56, with more progressive passes and passes into the penalty area included. This is not me saying that Wirtz is better than Firmino, by the way, far from it, but these stats are being used to show how similar of a style of player he is. Attacking midfield and false nine are extremely similar, and the German has shown that he's able to get not only forward and cause problems himself, but also produce moments of subtle quality. This type of player producing such a versatile range of passing for the likes of Salah and Gakpo and Diaz to run into would be incredible. We're losing the creative talent of Trent and replacing it with the electric running power of Jeremy Frimpong, someone who has benefited time and time again from the passing quality of Wirtz in the past. So to add him to that list of players who become a major attacking threat thanks to the creative talent of Wirtz in the false nine role, the goal scoring priority would rely on Salah, yes, but when he's having a season like this, why try and fix what isn't broken? Instead of trying to share out the responsibility, get someone in who can further unlock talent from the Egyptian king while also creating for the other attacking players who will love having this style of attacker behind, rather than someone who can't create opportunities for others and squanders the chances created for him. Wirtz will probably go to Bayern and that's fine, but my god, he'd be perfect for Liverpool in the Arne Slot era, which is sorely missing a Firmino style footballer.